Imagine this. You've studied, you've prepared, you walk into the exam room feeling reasonably ready. But then, as the test paper is placed in front of you, a familiar sensation creeps in. Your heart starts to pound, your palms get sweaty, and suddenly that calm focus you had just moments ago vanishes, replaced by a racing mind and a knot in your stomach. What you're experiencing might be more than just pre-test jitters. It could be the onset of an anxiety attack during a test. This isn't an uncommon scenario, and if it sounds familiar, please know you are absolutely not alone. Test anxiety, particularly when it escalates into what feels like a full-blown anxiety attack, is a significant challenge that impacts countless students at every level, from high school to university and beyond. It's a powerful form of performance anxiety, a psychological state where intense fear and stress can hijack your ability to show what you truly know. For decades, researchers like George Mandler and Seymour Saracen began formally exploring this phenomenon, recognizing its profound impact. Today, as our educational systems lean more and more on high-stakes standardized testing, the conversation around test anxiety is more relevant and critical than ever. It's not just about getting a lower score. It can affect your well-being, your confidence, and even your love for learning. But here's the good news. Understanding it is the first step, and having a practical plan can make all the difference. So today, we're going to break down what's really going on when anxiety strikes during a test. We'll explore the common causes and diverse symptoms, and then, most importantly, we'll equip you with a concrete, actionable plan to manage and overcome these challenging moments. This isn't about eliminating all nerves. A little nervousness can actually sharpen your focus, but about preventing anxiety from becoming a roadblock to your success and peace of mind. Let's start by truly understanding what's happening in those moments of intense test anxiety. This isn't just about feeling a bit worried. It's a complex interplay of physical, emotional, and cognitive symptoms. Physically, your body might go into overdrive. You might notice excessive sweating, a rapid heartbeat that feels like it's pounding out of your chest, or even shortness of breath, as if you can't quite catch your breath. Some people experience stomach pain, nausea, or even diarrhea. Dizziness, trembling, shaking hands, tingling sensations, and a dry mouth are all common signs your body is reacting to perceived stress as if it's a real threat. In severe cases, these physical sensations can indeed escalate into what feels very much like a panic attack. Emotionally, you might be overwhelmed by feelings of self-doubt, fear, or hopelessness. A sense of inadequacy can wash over you, perhaps mixed with anger or irritability. Mentally, the impact can be incredibly frustrating. Your mind might feel like it's blanking out, racing with unhelpful thoughts, or suddenly, all that material you studied diligently seems to have vanished. You might struggle to concentrate, make decisions, or get stuck in a loop of negative self-talk, like "I can't do this" or "I'm going to fail." And behaviorally, this anxiety can show up as procrastination before the test, or even giving up during it.
Now, why does this happen? The causes are often multi-layered. Sometimes it stems from a broader, generalized anxiety disorder. Other times, it's rooted in a deep-seated fear of failure or intense perfectionism, where the pressure to be flawless becomes paralyzing. High self-imposed expectations, combined with external pressures from family or school, can also contribute significantly. And let's be honest, inadequate preparation, last-minute cramming, or poor study skills can certainly heighten anxiety. Beyond that, factors like a history of poor test performance, cultural background, language barriers, learning disabilities like ADHD or dyslexia, and yes, the sheer pressure of high-stakes testing environments can all increase vulnerability. It's a complex picture, but recognizing these elements is key to addressing them. Now, let's pivot from understanding the problem to building a powerful, practical plan. This isn't about wishing the anxiety away, but about equipping you with strategies you can actively use. Think of this as your toolkit, designed to help you regain control. Our first pillar is preparation strategies. This goes beyond just studying. It's about efficient and consistent studying. Instead of last-minute cramming, which often fuels anxiety, aim for structured early study plans. Break down your material, spaced out over time. Utilize practice tests and quizzes to familiarize yourself with the format, timing, and types of questions. This builds confidence and reduces the unknown, which is a big anxiety trigger. Think of it like a dress rehearsal for a play. The more you practice in conditions similar to the performance, the more comfortable and confident you'll feel on opening night. Next, let's talk about cognitive and mindset techniques. This is about training your brain. Cultivate positive self-talk. Instead of, I'm going to fail, try, I can only do my best and I am prepared. Visualize success. Close your eyes and imagine yourself calmly working through the test, feeling focused and confident. Challenge negative thoughts when they arise. Ask yourself, is this thought truly helpful right now? Most often, the answer is no. And finally, accept that a little pre-test nervousness is completely normal. It's your body getting ready to perform, not necessarily a sign of impending doom. Then there's relaxation and self-care. This is foundational. Implement deep breathing exercises. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold briefly, then exhale even more slowly through your mouth. Progressive muscle relaxation, where you tense and then relax different muscle groups, can also be very effective. Guided imagery, listening to a peaceful audio, can help calm your mind. And don't forget the basics. Prioritize adequate sleep in the days leading up to the test, eat healthy, nourishing food, and engage in regular exercise. These aren't luxuries. They're essential for a resilient mind and body. And crucially, avoid excessive caffeine, which can mimic anxiety symptoms. Now, what about during test techniques, when you're actually sitting there and anxiety starts to creep in? First, arrive early, giving yourself time to settle in without rush. Organize your materials. When the test begins, take a moment to carefully read all instructions. Don't rush into answering. Pace yourself throughout the exam. Start with easier questions to build momentum and confidence. If anxiety spikes during the test, take a quick pause. Use those calming techniques, a few rounds of deep breathing, discreetly tensing and relaxing your shoulders, or a quick grounding exercise where you name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. If despite these efforts, severe anxiety makes continuing impossible, remember you can discreetly signal the test proctor for assistance. They are there to help, not to judge.
While these individual strategies are incredibly powerful, it's also important to know when to seek professional support. If test anxiety is significantly impacting your academic performance, your well-being, or is persistent despite your best efforts, consider reaching out. Talk therapy, often cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT, with a mental health professional can provide incredibly effective tools. School counseling services are excellent resources, and many workplaces offer employee assistance programs that can connect you to support. There is absolutely no shame in seeking help. It's a sign of strength and a commitment to your own success and health. Beyond our individual strategies, it's worth briefly touching on the broader conversation around test anxiety. There are ongoing debates about the fairness and efficacy of high-stakes standardized testing itself. Do these tests truly measure knowledge, or do they primarily measure a student's ability to cope with intense pressure, potentially causing psychological harm? These are important questions being asked by educators and policymakers alike. There's also discussion around whether test anxiety interferes with the accurate assessment of a student's actual abilities. Does a poor test score truly reflect a lack of understanding, or was it simply an anxiety attack that prevented them from demonstrating what they knew? The role of technology, like real-time grade portals, is also being examined, as it can inadvertently heighten anxiety by constantly emphasizing outcomes. And finally, despite its prevalence, there's still a degree of stigma around test anxiety, which can prevent people from seeking the help they need. These broader discussions highlight why this topic remains so vital. But for you, right now, know this: your experience with test anxiety is valid, it's understandable, and most importantly, it's manageable. By understanding its roots, preparing effectively, practicing mindfulness and self-care, and having a plan for those in-the-moment challenges, you can significantly reduce its impact. You are more than your test scores, and your well-being is paramount. Take these tools, practice them, and remember that building resilience takes time and consistent effort. You have the capacity to navigate these challenges and perform your best, not just on tests, but in all areas of your life.